But back when we first started out, even vegetables were a problem because there weren't that many recipes. So that's where we came in, because we decided that we wanted to show the world that actually plant-based food, when you cook it properly, is really delicious.
We need big brands to get on board and think about reducing their carbon footprints, and food is a wonderful way to do that. Drinks are a wonderful way to do that, and if you can shift people, encourage people to move towards more plant-based options, you do just take the edge off that carbon footprint a little bit.
In many respects, we're living in the future right now, because 8 years ago, you could only imagine what was going on now.
It's like the realization of our dream 8 years ago, what is happening today, which is wonderful.
It's Veganuary. I love vegan food, and who better to speak to about vegan food than the two guys from Bosch, who are here today to talk to me about their collaboration with Costa. Guys, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure.
Hello, thank you for having us. So I'm Henry, he's Ian, we're Bosch, and we love making plant-based food.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a fair old while now, haven't we?
Yeah, a few years now.
Yeah. And now it's 2024, we started in what, 2016?
Yeah, so vegan food, plant-based food, whatever you want to call it, that is our bread and butter. Vegan butter, of course.
Obviously, plant-based. Tell me about how things have changed since when you've started to now. Like, obviously, vegan food is a lot more accessible now. So how was it when you guys first began?
So 8 years ago, it was a different landscape. There were no vegan options in supermarkets, in coffee shops, in restaurants. You just couldn't find anything. And in fact, even the word vegan would kind of summon up arguments, you know? Now, thank God, it's more mainstream. There are vegan options everywhere. Plant-based is this new phrase. It's a lot more chill and a lot more easy access. And just loads more people are trying plant-based food, eating plant-based food, and feeling great because of it, which is fantastic.
And obviously, plant-based food is largely vegetables. But back when we first started out, even vegetables were a problem because there weren't that many recipes. So that's where we came in, because we decided that we wanted to show the world that actually plant-based food, when you cook it properly, is really delicious. So we've set up this channel called Bosch and just churned out loads of recipes that just relied solely on vegetables. And I think the channel that we set up has helped an awful lot of people eat a lot more plants, which is really great.
For sure. And what kind of options did you have when you guys kind of first started out?
Nothing other than vegetables, essentially. You look at the shelves now, you've got all these alt proteins, and you know, they're good if you're looking to get that protein and you want a satisfying burger. Some people are obviously concerned about, you know, what's in them, where are they made. We don't worry so much about that. But at the beginning, there was nothing. It was just vegetables and maybe a sausage. You might find a sausage back in the day.
Or a falafel wrap.
And even like big brands like Costa as well, like, you know, going like plant-based with their milk options, you know, I guess what were your kind of views on that, like how things have changed, like for like big brands as well?
It's incredibly exciting. So obviously we've partnered with Costa, and one of the things that attracted us to Costa was the fact that they've got these really strong net zero initiatives, you know, 2030 and 2040, big environmental goals, and I really think they're leading the way. You know, we need big brands to get on board and think about reducing their carbon footprints, and food is a wonderful way to do that. Drinks are a wonderful way to do that, and if you can shift people, encourage people to move towards more plant-based options, you do just take the edge off that carbon footprint a little bit, which is wonderful.
In many respects, we're living in the future right now, because 8 years ago, you could only imagine what was going on now.
It's like the realization of our dream 8 years ago, what is happening today, which is wonderful.
And even though like our company mission is all about environment, the really nice thing that happens is you feel really healthy too, because we've both been eating plant-based for 8 years, and we're both, I would say, fitter than the average, not because of the exercise that we do, but because of the food that we eat. Because naturally, if you're eating a plant-based diet, if you just approach it properly and don't just eat beige chips and bread all the time, and eat a good range of fruits and vegetables, legumes and seeds, you end up being really healthy. And that's what we are. We like to think we are. And 80-20 is a really good rule to live by when you're eating plant-based diet. You 80% of the time eat, you know, fruits and veggies and healthy stuff, and 20% of the time go naughty.
Cheat meal.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me more about like some of the dishes that people can have, like, you know, going on a plant-based diet.
I mean, you can have everything. So like if you're going to a restaurant to have a burger and chips, you can have a burger and chips. You can even have steak and chips nowadays. And then of course you can have salads, and you can have everything in between. I guess what Ian's referring to is like, you can go for that burger and chips and it will be as healthy whether you're having a meat-based version or a plant-based version, but make sure you're not doing that every meal, maybe 80% of the time, go for something that's a bit more like a salad. Those kind of plant foods. Stir fries are a wonderful way, by the way, to have something that feels like a takeaway but is incredibly healthy. But go for those healthy plant-rich foods 20% of the time, 80% of the time, then 20% of the time you have your cheat.
Now, we've obviously written an awful lot of recipes in our time, and I would say that the recipe that I'm most proud of that we've put on our channels and in our books is the mushroom Wellington. Right, so mushroom. It's January now. It was Christmas just a couple of weeks ago, and we know because we see all the photographs come into our Instagram account about how many people cook that dish, which is the perfect centerpiece for a plant-based roast dinner or indeed a Christmas dinner. Hundreds and thousands of people have cooked that over the course of the last 8 years. It's been so good to see.
So that's the favourite.
That's my personal favourite.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Oh man, my favourite was always fish and chips back in the day before I went vegan. So good plant-based fish and chips, which we make from tofu, and you get so much of the same effect with a block of tofu treated correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the experience of fish and chips is like the batter,
Exactly.
and the chips, and the ketchup, and the tartar sauce, right? All of those are effortless to make plant-based. So that would be a favourite, but I don't have it that often.
No.
Yeah, just a treat
Just
for
every
you.
now and
Yeah,
again.
a little treat.
Good. Can you give any advice for like anyone that's maybe seen you guys doing so well and wants to start their own business in this area? What kind of advice would you give there?
Yeah, so a few top tips for if you're looking to start your own business. I would say find a co-founder or a business partner of sorts. It's really helpful to have someone to work with, bounce ideas off. It's hard to build a business, so doing it with someone else makes it that little bit easier.
Yeah, I would always say that do something that you're really passionate about, because then it doesn't really feel like work. When we found plant-based food, it was kind of just like, this was our calling. This is something that we can really get behind and spend our lives doing and put loads of energy into. So yeah, I think if we had set up a business that hadn't been something that we cared so much about, then we probably wouldn't have been as successful as we have been to date. So yeah, do something you love for sure.
I would also say find evenings and weekends and have a day job. So a lot of people, they quit their job and they just focus on something full time. And it doesn't work because they can't pay the bills. The real way to start a business, which has happened like both in this business and the previous business which we worked in together, it was begun in evenings and weekends. Okay, you're working your day job, you're learning how to run a business or how to work in a business in your day job. Evenings and weekends are the time when you hustle and you build and you meet people and you make connections and you learn. And then when you're finally ready to commit, that's when you commit. I think most people fail because, they quit their job too soon.
Yeah, they've not got any money to actually
Exactly.
fund anything. It's like, yeah, good. And
I mean, right now, it's never been easier to set up a company because there's so many fantastic tools online. Like because of social media, we're able to change the way that people eat via showing them how good plant-based food is on social media. So utilize the tools that are available to you.
how did you manage to get this amazing collaboration?
We've been working together with Costa for a fair while. I would say for about 18 months, discussing. We both had mutual goals around carbon, the planet, and a desire to see more plant-based food available, but targeted at everybody. So for flexitarians, deliciatarians, as we're calling them. 18 months of conversations, ideas, brainstorming, and then culminating in this range.
And we've tasted an awful lot of food in that time too.
Yeah,
Lots of tweaking, lots of changing, and just what you see here is the culmination of, as Henry says, 18 months of hard graft, and what's in those bags is delicious.
So what's your favourite item from the range that you've created?
I would say the sausage bap is a classic, right? But I like my sausage bap swimming in brown sauce. Lots and lots and lots of brown
Bring
sauce.
some with you.
Yeah. Bring a bottle. Exactly.
Pocket,
You've gone savoury, I'll go sweet. The Rocky Road that we did is really, really delicious. My parents were down over the course of the weekend, and they just tucked into that Rocky Road, and they were really impressed by the fact it had plant-based marshmallows, because usually they're gelatin-based. But yeah, it's just delicious and perfect with a nice coffee.
Yeah, sorted. Cool. Well, shall we go try some of it just now then?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
So, can you tell me a wee bit about what we're about to have then?
Indeed. I mean, I've got the other half of what you've got. And this is a fantastic cheese with a Z and ham toasty. So the cheese is plant-based cheese. It's really creamy. It melts beautifully. And then the slice of ham in there has just got all of the familiar flavours that you would have with a slice of ham, just completely plant-based. And yeah, when it's warmed up and it's got a little bit of tomato ketchup dipped in, absolutely delicious.
Brown sauce.
Everyone loves a toasty, right?
Exactly.
So I've got the plant-based chicken fajita wrap, which is, as you'd imagine, it's kind of got that Mexican gentle heat. It's got that plant-based protein, but it's also got some peppers in there and just wonderful spices. Absolutely gorgeous.
Good for breakfast and good for brunch and good for lunch, no less, as well.
Oh, shall we try a cookie?
Shall I have a little cookie?
Dessert time.
Nice.
Go on then. Let's have a little nibble.
Yes, sir.
There.
What have we got? So these are the...
Pecan slice. So that's like a really nice caramel top. It's got a chocolate and biscuit base.
So I've got the Rocky Road here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm
fantastic. There you go. I'll have
you.
a bit. You'll have a bit.
Cheers.
Cheers again.
again.
There we
On
go.
that, hopefully.
That's very nice.
That's a good cookie. Good with the coffee. Good on its own. It'd be good warmed up as well, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Delicious.
wow, that's
it.
wonderful.
You've got a lot going on just now. You know, obviously this is a big moment for you, but looking ahead, what else have you guys got planned for the year coming?
So our team are super busy. We've got an office over in Hammersmith, and there are 10 to 12 people actually in the Bosch office. So continuing to create delicious food with them, continuing to create amazing products as well. But we're also eyeing up America and thinking about TV and America.
Big step.
The lifeblood of our company is social media videos, and we've got so many delicious recipes that we're ready to film and show the people. So yeah, if anybody wants to find us, bosh.tv is where we are.
So really looking forward to seeing how you guys are going to progress, hitting America, healing the world,
Yes.
you know, getting veganism out there. So I'm really looking forward to it, and best of luck to you both.
And we're
Thank you.
very much looking forward to reading Wellness Wednesdays.
Exactly,
Yeah,
it's all
gonna be
happening.
great. Yeah.
Must read.
Thank you.